Have a seat up on your lift. Cross your legs in the center of your shins. Your choice today. What's going to give you ease? This one where you really push the feet out front, get that nice firm base, or do you want to turn the bottoms of the feet up? Maybe pull them a little further back and turn the soles of the feet up. Or maybe it's something in between. Maybe we don't need to go to the extremes today. But do it mindfully. Choose. Maybe try a couple different versions and go, this is what I'm choosing today. So it's not haphazard. This is about mindfulness and action. So while poses can be done different ways, it's best to be mindful and choose which version you are going to do, even when it comes to sitting here in Sukhasana, pose of ease. And begin a check-in with yourself. There's a lot of energy floating around in the air. As everyone knows, it's election day. So that energy, both of just we have to get it done and the, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And there's just a lot of energy floating around without fighting it. Can you just notice that it is there? We're a part of it. We can't run away from it. There's no need to run away from it. And can you allow whatever swirls are there, let them swirl around you without swirling you? Can you find a stillness for you? Even knowing that there is chaos flowing outside of you. And can you allow yourself to drop your awareness into the body? Into the place where all your answers are. They don't exist outside of you, they exist inside of you. And you bring your awareness into your body, into the space of here and now. And then beginning to truly connect with the body. So finding the sits bones, and then finding that even balance of the sits bones. Finding the inner thighs, the inner groins, and lengthening from the inner knee to the lower abdomen, from the lower abdomen to the inner knee. Drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips as you compact the hips together. Finding a lengthening of the side ribs. Maintain the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Back bottom ribs towards the front body. So it's as if they're trying to meet each other in the middle. Notice how each of these actions affects the breath. Finding a softening of the shoulders, letting the shoulders release away from the sides of your neck. Lengthening from the armpit through the inner elbow. With each inhalation, allowing the spine to become longer. With each exhalation, allowing the torso to become wider. Maintaining this experience of the body, and with mindfulness, bringing your palms together at your chest, touching the palms evenly left to right, right to left. Drawing your eyes back and down to gaze at the seat of your heart, the seat of your soul. Let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together, exhaling completely. Deep inhalation. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. From the back of your head, gently let your eyelids open. Straighten your legs. Take your feet together, heels together, toes together, fingertips by your hips. Toes up. If you prefer the floor, you can be on the floor. Depends on your lower back. If you scoop your lower back, you need a lift. Takes a lot of work on the abdomen. So you need to draw the abdomen towards the spine. It helps to lengthen the groins to do that. You can lengthen from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner heel, and draw back from the upper inner thighs towards the abdomen. That begins to release the abdomen. And then you can begin to strengthen the abdomen, drawing it back towards your spine. The thigh bones press down. And don't confuse that with the knees. The thigh bone. Watch your shins, Carla. So you want to take your shins towards the ceiling, Carla, and your thighs down so you don't push into the knee. Okay? Just picture it. Picture the calves moving away from the floor. As you press through the sit bones, lengthen the side ribs. And with your arms, as you lengthen the arms, they don't have to get straight. And it depends, if you're on a lift, they'll probably be straight. If you're touching the floor, if your hands are on the lift, then maybe not. But allow the forearms to rotate in as the upper arms rotate out. Do that without pushing the ribs forward. The front ribs forward. The front ribs go back. Back ribs go forward. Front ribs back. Back ribs forward. And can you begin to then observe? You are a container for the breath. How does your breath flow while you are in this pose? You don't need to force it. Don't seek a particular breath. Don't seek, I can make my breath long, or I can do whatever I do with it. But can you become a witness for what the breath does when you're in a pose like this? There are other times to control the breath, and even in poses, you can. But you always want to observe first. Even when you're doing a pranayama practice, you observe the pose first, and then you can begin to control it. Separate your legs. And again, you can choose your height. Do you want to sit up on a block? Do you want the floor? But most important is see that your feet are on the same plane. That one foot is in front of the other. That however wide one leg is, the other leg is equally wide. And that means the one that has more flexibility needs to match the one with less flexibility. And if you're scooping back, you need a lift. So you want your trunk to be nice and lifted. Press your thigh bones down, not the knees. Lengthen through the inner legs. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Allow the inner legs to become longer as time goes on. So it's not just one, we're going to stretch and then hold. The pose continues. The inner legs becoming longer and longer as time goes on, while the outer hips compact. Using your arms then to give also support to the side ribs, to the spine. And finding a lengthening there. Again, forearms turning in, upper arms rotating out. Finding a softness in the face and then becoming the observer. They bounced evenly on the sit bones. Take hold of the inside of the knees. Pull straight up. Let the feet come together. Baddha Konasana. So if you're on the floor, you can do the version where you take your hands underneath the feet. But if you do that, remember you're pushing your feet into the hands, into the floor, not pulling your feet up with your hands. And if you're here up on the lift, you can still take your fingertips by your hips like I have here. Soften your shoulders. Press your heels. If you are holding your feet, try not to lean forward, but it's still shoulders above the hips. Good, Ron. Balance evenly on the sit bones. Press the heels. Lengthen the inner groins, inner thighs, or really the lower abdomen to the inner knee, from the inner knee to the lower abdomen. Can you make that a two-way street, not always a one-way street? Draw the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. Lengthen to the side ribs. However your hands are, whether you're holding your legs or hands by your hips, the forearms rotate in, the upper arms rotate out. And then becoming the observer for the breath, allowing the breath to breathe you. Again, you don't need to force a particular breath. It's not a good breath and a bad breath, but we want to witness it. Lift the chest, Carla. Take your hands on the outside of the knees, push the legs together, hold behind one knee, draw the flesh towards the buttock, drag the heel. Upper leg, draw the flesh towards the buttock, drag the heel, and by your hips, Dandasana. And even though you just did this pose, thighs down, lengthen the inner thighs, outer knees to outer hips, lift up through the side ribs, forearms in, upper arms out. Even though you just did this pose and you observed the breath in this pose, I'm going to suspect that if you study the breath, it will be different than it was moments ago, because we did a couple poses in between. Can you become a witness for it? For that breath, the prana, the life force, the cosmic energy that feeds all life, as B.P.S. Iyengar talks about. And release. All right, we're going to try a version of Virasana. If you're having difficulty with it, you have to let me know. Here, you have to let me know. There, you have to let me know. I'm going to show you from behind. You use a lift, use a block, but here's what we're going to do. You take your feet together, knees apart. I'm going to ask you to take your thumbs deep into the crevice of your knees to have your block in between. I'm going to show you so you can see my thumbs. And you push them in, and then you move them to the outside as you sit down, then onto your lift. This should not hurt your knees. If it does, you need to let me know. We need to figure something out. Okay? So knees are together, feet apart. Take your thumbs and push them into the back of the knee to create that space, and then you pull them out to the sides as you sit back. You want to make sure, double check your toes, that your toes are pointing straight back. There are different versions of Virasana, but in this one, let's have the toes pointing straight back. So Virasana is really good for both the hips and the knees. We hold a lot of stuff in the hips, and there's a lot of emotions going around. So let's work our hips a little bit. Shoulders and hips are the biggest joints of the body, and they tend to, emotions tend to settle there. The knees okay, Joe? Okay. All right. Anyone knees bother them, you have to let me know. Now, don't move your knee and don't lift it up, but take your hands to the front of the knees. The knees will stay down, and you're just lifting the flesh up, so the flesh rises up. That's it. Just an adjustment of the flesh. Shoulders above your hips. Now lengthen the inner groin. So from the lower abdomen to the inner knee, from the inner knee to the lower abdomen. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs down. And I don't know about you, but as soon as I do that, my whole breath changes. Because it changes, the groin is connected to the abdomen. The diaphragm is all wrapped up in there. So it creates more space. Now still draw the outer knee to the outer hip, compact the outer hips, but don't affect the changes you made in the inner legs. And just rest your hands lightly for a moment. And become an observer for the breath. See that you're balanced evenly on the sits bones. Now, if you bring your awareness to your toes, don't move anything yet. First, we notice, right? Always notice first, observe first, then make adjustments, and then observe after. So I would make a wager. We don't gamble in yoga, but I'd make a wager anyway that most of the weight is on your big toe. The pressure is your big toe is pressing down. And I want you to adjust so that the little toe or little toenail is pressing down. And not just by moving the toe itself. Let's see if you can move the foot. And if that is difficult, and I'll raise my hand, yes, that's difficult. You can assist yourself by taking your hands and placing them on the ball of the little toe, not on the toe itself, because then you're just pressing the toe down, it does nothing. But take your hands on the ball of the little toe and push that down so that the heels move away from your hips. And some of you will notice that action reflect into your hips themselves. Still re-release the inner groins if they've tightened. So keep your little toe pressing down, not the big toe. Now, sometimes you might get a foot cramp doing that. Me too. Yeah, I know. 20 years of this, I'll still get a foot cramp doing it. And yes, I drink a lot of water. So you can also, the feet have connections to the whole body. There are charts out there about which part of the feet do what. And if you're pregnant, you don't want to do it because when there are places on your feet that can induce pregnancy. But you can take your thumb, take it towards the inside of the inner heel, right, where the heel meets the arch, and just press down through the ball of the big toe and give yourself a little foot massage. And then moving towards the second toe. And then moving towards the center of the heel and towards the middle toe. Because this is a pose you want to be in for some minutes. And then towards the fourth toe. And then towards the pinky toe. And then you can, that was pleasant for you, giving yourself a little foot massage, you can do it again. Or that point, that place that cramped, or that place where you go, oh my God, what's there? I didn't even know that place in the foot existed. You can rub that a little bit more maybe. And you may notice it release other parts of the body. So you want to be here for some time. So not that it's wrong just to be here. And you can also use a higher lift, Sean. Okay. But if you do get bored, now boredom is good. Boredom is the birthplace of creativity. So boredom's good. Be bored. But if you want to give yourself a little foot massage, that's good too. And then when you release your feet, just notice your feet, notice what happened in other parts of your body. And then interlace your fingers together, turn your palms out. Watch those front ribs, keep the front bottom ribs back. Now go back to the legs, release the groins, compact the hips. And then inhale and take your arms up. Parvatasana, Invirasana. Press down through the sit bones evenly, extend through the wrists. Now we're going to do a twist here. So lengthen up, down through the wrists, lengthen up down through the sit bones, lengthen up through the wrists. Inhale. On your exhalation, turn to the right. Wrap the ribs around. Don't just lead with the arms. Don't just lead with the head. The head follows the torso. Can you wrap the ribs around? Maintain the evenness of the sit bones. Shoulders down as the wrists go up. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, come to center. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, turn to the left. Arms back. Wrists up, shoulders down. Wrap the ribs around. Don't just turn the head. Exhale, come to center. Remember which way your fingers are interlocked. Release your arms. Rest and take a breath. Interlace your thumbs together, your fingers together the opposite way. Turn your palms out. Watch those ribs. So ribs back, release the groins. Inhale, come up. Press the sit bones, release the groins, extend through the wrists. Shoulders down as the wrists go up. Watch those ribs, ribs in. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, turn to the right. Again, wrap the ribs around. Don't just lead with the head, not even just leading with the shoulders and the arms. You can get the whole torso involved. Arms back. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, come together. Inhale, lengthen them up. Exhale, turn to the left. Keep the arms back. Don't take the arms forward when you turn. Wrap the ribs around. Observe the breath. Let the breath breathe you. Become the witness. Become the observer. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, come to center and release. Come forward. Sweep your legs to the side. And come back. Sweep your legs forward. Dandasana. Thighs down. Lift up through the side ribs, lengthen the groins. Open the back of the knee. We've been working the knees. So open the back of the knee by taking the tops of the calves towards the heel and the bottom of the hamstring towards the buttocks. So top of the calf towards the heel, bottom of the hamstring towards the buttocks. And release. Come onto your hands and knees. Take your shoulders over your wrists, knees slightly behind your hips. If you need blocks for downward facing dog or the chair for downward facing dog, please take that. Turn your forearms in, rotate your upper arms out. Push into the floor, lengthen the inner arms. Turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. Take your thighs back. Take your chest towards your thighs. Take your sit bones towards the ceiling. But even as you take your chest towards your thighs, the front bottom ribs move towards the back body. Don't sink in the front bottom ribs. Don't sink there. Use those legs, press those thighs back. Lengthen the inner groins. Lengthen the inner groins. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. And then look up, walk your feet forward, and hold your elbows. Uttanasana, forward bend. Take wide feet. Take wide feet. Make it comfortable. Toes forward. Lengthen the inner thighs. Lengthen the inner groins. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. And again, you can do that opening of the back of the knee. So top of the calf down, both sides, bottom of the hamstrings up. So you're not just jamming your knee back, but you're opening the back of the knee, opening the eyes of the knees. Let your arms go, hands on the floor or blocks or chair. Walk your feet back, downward facing dog. Press the thighs back. Use your abdomen. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, and press your thighs back even more. Get that extra length on the spine and side ribs by really pressing those thighs back, by using your abdomen to press the thighs back. Lengthen the groins, the flesh of the inner thighs moving back. Outer heels down, outer hips up. Also the eyes of the knees. So top of the calf down, bottom of the hamstring up. And become an observer for the breath. Observe the breath. In this, when the container is, I was going to say new container, but it's the container is the same. It's you. It's in a different form though. It's in a different shape. So the breath flows differently. Look up, walk your feet forward, hold your elbows the opposite way. Uttanasana, forward bend. And either keep the feet wide, or if you want to journey a little deeper today, depending on what your physical and emotional needs are, take your feet closer together a little bit. Upper arms in line with your ears. Lengthen the groins, outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips. Move those hips towards the ceiling as your torso falls over your thighs. Let your arms go, sweep your arms back. Take your hands slightly above your hips. This is Shalabhasana arms. Extend the arms back, chest forward. Keep the thighs moving back as you inhale, come up to Tadasana. And take your feet either together or hip distance apart. Thighs back. Not the shins, thighs. So shin bones forward, thighs back, Carla. I know it doesn't make sense. You don't think I know that? Lengthen the groins. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Lift up through the side ribs, front ribs back ribs forward. Extend through the arms. Tadasana. And release. Take hold of a strap. So take a strap. And give yourself enough space on the strap so you'll be able to get your arms forward and back. I can't quite tell if you can see my arms here. So I'm going to come down here just so people at home can see me. But you're in Tadasana, so balance evenly on the feet, toes forward, Veronica. Thighs back, shin bones forward. Extend the arms up. And then let the arms fall behind you without bending the elbows. So if the elbows bend, see if taking them wider apart will help. And then forward, opening up those shoulders, the armpits, also where we hold a lot of emotions. Go back and forward. Try not to move the head forward and back while you're doing this. But keep the head neutral, not stiffened, not gonna lock the head into place, but keep it comfortable and neutral as you move the arms forward and back. It's also going to help with some of the back bends we're about to do. First week of the month, it's standing pose week, but it's only a guide. You don't have to follow it. Sometimes you have to break the rules. All right, next time you're going back, I want you to stop at that space where your armpits are most open. Watch those front ribs. Don't push the front ribs forward. Really take the front ribs back. Take the back armpit, the part of the armpit that's closer to the back, and move it to the part of the armpit that's closer to the front. In this case, maybe it's up, so the bottom of your armpit towards the top armpit. And open. And then let the arms fall behind you. The arms come up, over, and release the strap. One more for the shoulders before we go into our, see what we do with our back bends. Take the right elbow over the left elbow and cross the forearms. Yeah, you can do that, Sean. Keep that shoulder down, Sean, though. If you can't cross the forearms, then you just take one straight arm, you use your opposite arm. You want to drop that shoulder down as you bring the straight arm across. And if you can cross the forearms, then you're here in Garudasana. Now, we normally start this with the arms hugging the body. So for those whose forearms are crossed, begin to lift the arms up. You have to listen to your body more than my instructions, but lift the arms up towards them being parallel to the floor. Take the forearms and move them away from your nose until they're perpendicular to the floor. And again, if you're not going that far, totally fine. And rotate the wrist so that knife edge of your hand faces forward, again, to what your body allows. That. That. Now cross, don't move the wrists. There you go. Got it? It's confusing. And you got it, Ramona. And then release. Left elbow on top of right, cross the forearms and touch the palms. And of course, if you're using a straight arm, drop that. You can even take your hand on your shoulder to help gently as a reminder to guide that down. Or you're crossing the forearms. Good, good, Carla. Elbows up, forearms away. Rotate the wrist so the knife edge of the hand faces forward. And broaden across the top of the back. Really broaden across the top of the back. Breathe into the top of the back. Let the shoulders, the back part of the shoulders, let them move away from each other. Let the shoulder blades move away from each other. And release. One more time. Right over left, cross. Elbows up, forearms away. Broaden across the top of the back. And when you're doing this, you have the straight arm, move those shoulder blades away from each other. Broaden across that top of the back, shoulder blades moving away from each other. And release. Other side, cross. Forearms up, or excuse me, elbows up, forearms away, rotate the wrists. It's getting closer, Sean. Broaden across the top of the back. Move the shoulders away from each other. Move the shoulder blades away from each other. Of course, front ribs back, back ribs in, thighs back, lengthen the groins, all of it. And release. Tadasana. Check in with yourself. Broaden across both the front chest, but broaden across the top of the back as well. Notice how the breath breathes you here. And release. You're going to lie flat on the mat. It might be easier, at least for you guys, to see me this way. You can be anywhere you want. But if you want to see me so you're not looking back, you might want to face me. So everyone in the room doesn't have to face the same way. So I'm going to lie like this, and whichever way is easiest for you to see me, that's how I want you to be. Take your elbows below your shoulders, hands in front of you. We're doing Bhujangasana. Now press your feet down and lift your thighs up. Knee people, be careful. Knee people, be careful. The thighs go up. The flesh of the inner thighs move up, right? We often say the inner thighs descend, but it's the same direction. It's just we're the other way now. So the flesh of the inner thighs moves up. Now this is important. The tailbone moves down and the hips stay down. Do not lift the hips up. Now the legs are the most important. Legs are more important than back bends. What you do with your legs right now is more important than what you do with your arms. So really extend the legs back. Try and move the feet further away from you. And then using your hands, crawl the chest forward and up. Okay, we're not straightening the arms yet. We'll get there. So tailbone down, hips down, thighs up. If anyone at home has any questions, you can ask. If anyone here has any questions, ask. And extend those legs away from each other. And then we'll begin to extend the arms, but really work the legs as you straighten the arms. So inhale, straighten your arms just a little bit, and then re-engage the legs. Lift the chest, thighs up, tailbone down, hips down. And then exhale, inhale, straighten the arms a little bit more, lift the chest, roll the shoulders, or excuse me, the upper arms out. Extend through the legs. Inhale, now straighten the arms all the way. Call it, take your hands a hair further apart. Extend through the legs, thighs up, hips down, tailbone down, lift the chest, roll the upper arms out as you press into the inner hand. And exhale, come down. How'd that go for everybody? All right. Any complaints at home? Was that a complaint? I saw someone's hand. Okay, that was okay. All right.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Knees also up. Knees up. Knees and thighs up.
Well, don't worry about where the knees are. The knees will come, but it's thighs up, legs down, feet down.
Okay.
My knees come away, but it depends on your. She asked if the knees come up. My knees are away. So if you look at me, my knees are up, but my feet are down and my thighs are down, right? So it's not, so this is upward dog where everything's up. That's not what we're doing. We're doing Bhujangasana where the hips stay down. Now I'm not jamming the knees up. It's an action of the thighs. I'm lifting my thighs up and the knees come away. All right? So one more time. So elbows underneath the shoulders. I like to turn my hands out slightly. It gives me more room for my shoulders. So I don't have my middle finger forward. I have my first finger actually turned out slightly. Although I am turning the forearm in. Now legs first. So I do press the thighs up. And my knees follow, but I'm not pressing the knees up. Lengthen the groins. If you can lengthen the groins here, you will get so much more from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. Of course, from the inner knees, you have to extend through the whole inner foot. And then from the upper inner thighs, you have to extend upward towards the lower abdomen. Even if you never straighten your arms and you really do this work with the legs, you'll get so much value. Top of the buttocks towards your heels. I'm adding a little bit here. A tailbone down, hips stay down as the thighs go up. Now, the legs are more important. So don't move the awareness from your legs to your arms. Keep that awareness. Extend through the legs, draw your chest forward first, and then begin to straighten the arms. And straighten the arms in 3 breaths. So inhale, straighten the arms a little bit, re-engage the legs, lengthen through the legs. And then inhale a little bit more and straighten the arms a little bit more. Lengthen through the legs, exhale, and then inhale. Now you straighten the arms all the way. Thighs up, feet down, hips down, tailbone down, top of the buttocks towards your heels. Now lengthen the groins. Compact the hips and lengthen the groins. Front ribs back, back ribs in. And then exhale, come down. Sorry, doing mask adjusting. Now, if that went great, you can do it exactly the same way. If you want to go a little deeper, then you begin to take your hands and elbows a little further back towards the body, okay? So either elbows underneath the shoulders, or you can begin to bring the elbows further back. Your choice. Legs first. Thighs up, but the feet press down and back. The flesh of the inner thighs come up. The hips, the tailbone moves down. Compact the hips together. Lengthen the groins. So much work in the legs. It's all in the legs. Now maintain that. Extend the feet back. Extend the whole leg back as you take the chest forward. And then on the inhalation, maintain the legs, maintain the chest moving forward, and begin to straighten the arms just a little bit. Keep those elbows in. So straighten the elbows a little bit. And exhale, straighten the arms a little bit more. Exhale, inhale, straighten the arms all the way or as much as you're going to today. Rotate the upper arms out. Now really extend through the legs. And draw the chest forward. Draw the shoulder blades in and up. Front ribs back, back ribs in, shoulder blades in and up. And then exhale, come down. Well, that was fun, right? All right, take your hands by your hips, palms up, head down, forehead down. Forehead down, forehead resting. Take your tailbone down, hips down. Now your whole leg is going to come up. So don't just lift the feet though. Come to the upper inner thighs. From the upper inner thighs, lift the legs up and extend the legs back. Tailbone down, top of the buttocks towards your heels, and move the legs away from you. So now the thighs are up, the knees are up, the feet are up. And on your exhalation, take them down. One more time. From the upper inner thighs, not from the feet. Lift the legs. From the upper inner thighs, lift the legs. Tailbone down, hips down, and extend those legs back. Extend the legs back. Draw the abdomen towards the spine. Don't worry so much about how high up they go versus how far back they go. And then exhale, come down. All right, now the arms. Take the tailbone down, lift the hands above your hips. Lift the hands above your hips, not just next to them, but above, higher than your hips. Lift your hands higher than your hips. Up, Carla, higher, higher, higher. And then push your arms back. As your arms go back, peel the shoulders up, then the chest, and then the head. You begin to gaze forward or on the floor in front of you. Move those, not the legs. Don't worry about the legs. We're doing the arms now. Tailbone down, legs are down. Tailbone down, tailbone down. Lift the arms up and back. Lift the arms, pull with your hands to go back and push with your shoulders to go back. And then exhale, come down. Right? So if you watch, lift your hands up, and you're doing two things. So you're pulling with your hands, but you're also pushing with your shoulders. So this is me pulling with my hands. And this is me pushing with my shoulders. And my head is not looking straight forward. That would be too much for my neck today. So I'm gazing on the floor in front of me. But can you get that action that your hands are pulling and your shoulders are pushing? And notice when my hand, they're not down here. They're up. These are my hips, and my hands are above my hips. All right? Let's try it again. Do keep the tailbone down. Lift your hands up above your hips. Push your arms back. So pull with your hands and push with your shoulders. Your shoulders come up, your chest comes up, and then your head comes up. Palms face the ceiling. Fingertips are a part of the pose. Fingertips are a part of the pose. Hands up, Carla. Now push with your shoulders, pull with your hands. Good, Joe. Push with your shoulders and pull with your hands. Tailbone down. Soften your face. Draw your abdomen into the spine and up towards your chest. Exhale, come down. So now we're going to put that all together. All right? We'll start with the legs, then we'll add the arms, and then maybe we'll do them simultaneously. So tailbone down. From the center, from the upper inner thighs, lift the legs up. And push the legs back. Push the legs back. Keep the tailbone down. Keep the tailbone down. Extend through those legs. Now, raise your hands above your hips. Legs back, now hands back, and shoulders push the hands pull the shoulders. Shoulders push the hands pull the shoulders, still extending through the legs, tailbone down. Allow the chest to rise. If you do all that work with the legs, when the arms, the chest rises on its own. Now draw your abdomen into the body and up towards your chest. And exhale, come down. And then we'll do one more together. So that means you really need to spread the awareness because a lot's going on in the legs, a lot's going on in the arms. So you really have to spread the awareness so that you can do the arm actions and the leg actions at the same time. So forehead down. Now tailbone down first. Secure that. Top of the buttocks towards your heels, tailbone down. Now, the action is from the center of or from your upper inner thighs, and then your arms. So lift your legs, lift your arms. Same time, hands above your hips. Now push back. The legs go back, thighs up, legs back, arms up, shoulders push the hands pull the shoulders. Then you have the arms and legs going back at the same time as if they're in a race to get somewhere, of course, but your mind stays here. Draw your abdomen into the spine, lift the abdomen up into your chest. Veronica, hands a little higher, and then push back. Nice, nice, Veronica. Exhale, come down. Take your arms in front of you. Bend your legs. Extend the arms out. Bend the legs. No, you're still, you're still flat. All right. So arms here. I know, it helps if I show. I get confused sometimes. Arms forward, bend your legs. Dhanurasana. The reason for extending the arms forward is because when you sweep them back, the arms tend to, they don't get long, but it gives you more space so you can really reach back and take your ankles. So inhale, exhale, make a big wide sweep back and take hold of your ankles as best you can. That's, oh, so close, so close. There you go, Sean. Good. Now the thighs still turn in, and the thighs, you lift them from the upper inner thighs. So take the tailbone down, and then begin to lift the thighs up. Lift the thighs up. Lift the thighs up. Tailbone down, thighs up. Tailbone down, thighs up. Lift those thighs. Move the feet towards the ceiling. Feet towards the ceiling. Thighs up, up, up. Thighs up, up, up. And then exhale, come down. And release. Just release. All right, so watch for a second. You bend the legs, take hold. Now you have to keep the tailbone down. That helps stabilize the lower back. Then you lift the thighs up. Lift the thighs up. And then what you're going to do, remember what we did in Shalabhasana where we use the arms to push back? So it's the same thing. There's a tendency to pull with the hands and push with the feet. But I want you to use the arms to push the feet back. So the feet go back, and then the arms push the feet back. The shoulders move the hands move the feet. Then you lift up. And then you come down. All right, let's try that. So arms forward. Bend your legs, only 20 more of these. Maybe 22. Inhale, exhale, sweep the arms back, take hold of your heels. Tailbone down first. Secure that. Now tailbone down, lift the legs, lift the chest. Use your legs to pull your hands back. Now use your arms to push your legs back and up. Use your arms to push your legs back and up. Back and up, back and up, back and up. And if this isn't working, do more Shalabhasana. Exhale, come down. And release. And if it's not working, you can do this one also. So this is an interim one. Actually, let's everybody do this one, just so you know what it is. So this was Shalabhasana, right? So you do Shalabhasana with bent legs. So you bend your legs. So everyone bend your legs. And then you lift your legs up. And without grabbing your ankles, you push your arms back. So everyone lift your legs up and push your arms back. Lift your legs up like Shalabhasana with bent legs. Push your arms back. So pull with your hands, push with your shoulders. Good. And then exhale, come down. No, no, last one. You have a choice now. Wait, did I say last one? I'm supposed to do 19 more. And our last one, you have a choice. If you want to grab your ankles, grab your ankles. If it's inaccessible to have bent legs, if that's inaccessible, have straight legs, Shalabhasana. Okay? So if you're bending your legs, bend your legs. If you're taking hold of your ankles, sweep back, take hold of your ankles. Everybody, straight legs, bent legs, lift your thighs up, tailbone down, lift your thighs up, legs back, arms back. Doesn't matter which version, legs back, arms back. If the legs are bent, up, 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 more, more, more. Tailbone down for everybody. Enjoy this. Imagine now this is your favorite pose in the entire world. And release. Downward facing dog. Hands on the floor, hands on blocks, hands on chair, hands on stairs. Thighs back. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, press your thighs back even more. Press your thighs back, take your outer heels down, outer hips up. And look up, walk your feet forward, come into Tadasana. Now, here's the thing about back bends. If you feel your back, it is not the end of the world. If there's pain in your back, we don't want pain. We're not looking for pain, to be clear. And we want to learn how to work without pain. But if you just feel it, a lot of us are afraid, even if we just feel anything in the lower back, and of course, we need to move those muscles there as well. So we can't be afraid of it. Thighs back. Top of the buttocks down, thighs back. This helps adjust your lower back. Top of the buttocks down, thighs back. Top of the buttocks down, thighs back. Lift up through the side ribs. Front ribs back. And release. All right, everybody take a chair. Take the back of the chair facing the front of the room. Sit in the chair so the right side of your body is towards the chair. Square your hips. So I'm sitting in the center of the chair as best you can based on what kind of chair you have. Square your hips, knees, and heels. Keep the front bottom ribs back. Extend your arms forward, arms up, lengthen. Keep that length on your inhalation. Turn towards the back of the chair. Elbows up, shoulders down. So turn now. Turn towards the chair. Take hold of the back of the chair. Carla. That's it. Good. Elbows up, shoulders down. Broaden across the front chest. Broaden across the back chest. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Don't lead with the head. The head follows. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Soft face, soft jaw. Top of the buttocks down still. Lengthen the groin still. Inhale. Exhale, come to center. Turn around. Extend your arms forward, arms up. Top of the buttocks down, ribs in, release the groins. Inhale, exhale, turn to face the back of the chair, hold the chair. Top of the buttocks down, again, no fists, straight hands. Straight hands, inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Drop the shoulders, elbows up, shoulders down. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Veronica, drop your left shoulder. That's it. Broaden across the front chest, broaden across the back chest. Inhale, lifting, exhale, come to center. All right, move the chair, take a strap, lie back on your mat. So this is all to ease the back in case anything got caught. So lie back, you have your strap in your hand. Bend your right leg into your chest, put the strap around your foot where the heel meets the arch, and straighten your right leg. Press your thigh away. Press the thigh bone away from you. When you press the thigh bone away, take the outer hip away without turning your thigh out. So the right thigh bone and the right outer hip move away from your shoulder, from your face. And if you really get that, it begins to adjust. The top of the buttocks begins to move away from you. And of course, lengthen the inner leg, outer knee to outer hip. Soften your shoulders. And then take your left leg, straighten it above the mat, 2-3 inches above the mat. Turn the left thigh in. Now don't let that right hip go towards your face. Don't let the right foot move away from your face. Take from the upper inner thigh, take your left leg down to the floor. So both thighs pressing back, lengthening both inner legs, both groins, drawing the outer knees to the outer hips. Now take your right sit bone towards your right heel, take your left sit bone towards your left heel. And bend both legs, switch legs. So left leg up, right leg is bent. Press the left thigh back. No death grips on the strap. Take the left outer hip away from your shoulder as you press the left thigh back. Lengthen the inner thighs. Draw the outer knee to the outer hip. Now take your right leg, straighten it above the mat, 2-3 inches above the mat. Turn the thigh in. From the upper inner thigh, place the leg down. Don't let that left outer hip go towards your shoulder. So both thighs down. Take that outer left hip away from your shoulder. Press both thighs back. Lengthen the inner leg. So now the right leg is down. Then take your left sit bone towards your left heel, right sit bone towards your right heel. No death grip. Soften the shoulders, soften your face. And take both legs in the strap. Keep pressing the thighs back, lengthen the groins. Lengthen the groins out in both directions. So the inner knee moving out towards the foot. Upper inner thighs drawing back towards the abdomen. Press the thighs back. Allow the abdomen to descend towards the spine. And bend your legs, place your feet on the floor, put your strap to the side. Scoop the flesh of the buttocks towards your heels. We're not going into Shavasana yet. Drag your heels one at a time and extend your arms towards the ceiling. Straighten the legs. Feet are together. So toes together, heels, toes together. Arms point straight at the ceiling at first. Now draw your abdomen towards the spine. It draws up underneath the bottom ribs. Keep the side ribs descending towards the mat. Keep the side ribs towards the mat as you extend the arms overhead. Keep the thighs down, thigh bones pressing down, ribs down, and extend through the inner leg, extend through the inner arms. So this is like Urdhva Hastasana, except we're lying back. Extend the whole body. And then release and relax. Take your arms up by your sides, palms up, and let go. If you need something underneath your knees, of course, take it. If you want to bend your legs, you can take it. If you want your legs, your calves on a chair, you can do that as well. Let go. If your legs are bent, then you want your knees together, feet apart. That releases the lower back more. Soft face, soft jaw, let everything go. We did a lot of work today. Can you let everything go? We opened up the hips, we opened up the shoulders. You let the legs go, let the arms go. We also worked the abdomen. Can you completely let the abdomen release and relax? Let your tongue rest on your lower palate. Become a witness for the breath. Allow the breath to breathe you. Allow the breath, the prana, to do its sacred work of breathing you. The breath breathing all of us simultaneously. Each and every one of us connected by the breath. Begin coming out. Take a soft, smooth, peaceful inhalation and a longer, smooth, peaceful exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. And your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart. Knees together, feet apart. Place your hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. Let the healing energy of your hands penetrate your body, pierce through your layers, and heal whatever it is you may need healing with today. Pick a side when you feel ready. Extend your arm past your ear, roll to that side. So extend your right arm, roll to the right. Extend your left arm, roll to the left. Rest your ear into your upper arm. When you feel ready, turn your torso towards the floor first, then push to come up. Come up chest first, head last. Bring your palms together. Draw your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up. Observing your practice. What's different? What's changed? Can you bring this yoga practice out into the rest of your day, into all of your interactions with other people? Those that agree with you, those that disagree with you. Can you offer equally your loving kindness, your compassion, sharing it with others, and most importantly, sharing it with yourself? Let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you.